Okay, EMT class, we have moved on to vital signs, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what just is a vital sign. It's kind of a hard thing to define. I put it out to my classes yesterday, and they came up with a wide variety of definitions for it. But in my mind, generally, a vital sign is something that we can observe or measure that shows that an organism is alive. And it may even give us information about how healthy that organism is. So, generally, something that shows an organism is alive. And we have a wide variety of vital signs that we take as EMTs. We're going to talk about a few of them here briefly, but not all of them. I'll have videos later on each of them. So, the first one we kind of observe with our patients is their mental status. We can see this as soon as we enter the room and look at them. And some of the ways that we measure mental status, we use a couple acronyms. One is called AVPU, which is alert, verbal, painful, or unresponsive. So is the patient alert, or do we have to shout at them the old, hey, hey, are you okay, to see if they respond verbally? Or maybe we have to pinch their shoulder or their nail bed to see if they respond to pain. And if they don't, then they're unresponsive. We also have the three components of the Glasgow Coma Scale. I'll talk about that more later. And then another one that we use pretty regular, sorry about the glitch right there. Let me write those again. Not sure what happened. Sorry about that. Another one that we use is A and O times 4. So are they alert and oriented to person, place, time, and event? And that's another one that we use. It's pretty easy to quick to see if they're mentally alert or not. Respirations, look to see if they're breathing in and out, and I'm looking for a rate, which we usually count for 30 seconds, then multiply it by 2. Also looking for a rhythm. Is it regular or irregular? And then I'm also looking for chest rise and fall, which tells me a tidal volume, and see if they're breathing deep enough and adequately enough. Same thing with pulse, and we can check pulses in multiple places, but I am looking to see if I can measure the rate, and here we usually do it for 15 seconds and multiply that by 4. Again, the rhythm, and then also the quality. And quality is really a measure of how strong the pulse is. So if I can feel the pulse easily, then it's normal. If it's very, very full, very bounding, feels very strong, it might indicate like hypertension. Or if it's very weak and thready, and those are kind of hard terms to define, but if you have a hard time finding it, it might be because they're vasoconstricted and they're going into shock. And for skin, I will usually look at color, and colors like bluish or dusky indicate poor oxygenation. Yeah, there we go. Oxygenation and cyanosis. Tried to put those two words together. Somebody that looks very red or flush, maybe feverish or have hypertension. I also want to touch the skin to feel its temperature. And then I want to look at the condition. And really, what I'm looking at with the condition is I'm looking to see if they're sweaty, diaphoretic, or if their skin is very dry. A lot of times, sweaty and diaphoretic indicates shock, and dehydration will oftentimes lead to skin that's very, very dry. Capillary refill, just pinch either a nail bed or the palm and see if it will, it should blanch, and then see if it'll pink back up. It's not real accurate. So this is just one small piece of the whole circulation thing, but in theory, an adult should pink back up in about 2 to 3 seconds. Kids maybe a little faster, and it's a little more accurate with children. But if my capillary refill time is less than 2 to 3 seconds, it usually indicates I have good circulation. Pupils, going to be looking at pupils to see if they react. Hopefully, you will see them react. We call pupils that are equal and reactive to light as pearl, and that's the normal. And normally, pupils are about 4 to 5 millimeters wide. If they're very, very small, like 1 to 2 millimeters, we call that pinpoint. If they're very big, like 9 or 10 millimeters, then we call them dilated or blown. Now, blood pressure, we take this in all of our patients, and hopefully the norm is 120/80. Hopefully we find something around that. They're actually recommending that we try to keep our blood pressure around 110/70 for health reasons. But we take this on each of our patients, and it'll give an indication of how well they're perfusing. So the systolic blood pressure, or the top number, is really a measure of how strong the left ventricle is contracting. And then the diastolic is the leftover pressure when the ventricle is not contracting, and that really kind of indicates how constricted or dilated our blood vessels are. So again, there's multiple vital signs that we can be taking. Hopefully, this is just a quick overview of the components of vital signs, and I hope you find it useful. Thanks.